Welcome back everyone. So in today's video we will be going through some of the most popular SQL client tools that you can use to connect to your database. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so like I mentioned in today's video, we will be going through some of the most popular SQL client tools that you can use to connect and query your database. And in today's video, we will be focusing specifically on MySQL database, and I'm running on Mac environment. So again, this is not going to be exhaustive list, but mainly the free SQL client tools that you can use to connect and query your database, especially if you are running on Mac environment. All right, so let's jump into it. Okay, so like I mentioned again, in this video I will be using MySQL Server to demonstrate how to use these tools. For my case, I already have the server installed, and now let's jump into tool number one. And the first one that we'll be looking into is through terminal or a CLI. Okay, so we will be connecting into our SQL or MySQL server using CLI. Okay, so I'm just going to bring up my terminal right here. And now to log into your SQL Server database using terminal or a command line, all you have to do once you have your terminal available here, I'm going to run my SQL, and I will check the version here to just make sure that I have my SQL Server installed on my local machine. And as you can see here, I do have my SQL version 9.1 running. And so to log into your SQL Server or my SQL Server, all you have to do is just do my SQL and then do dash and then the name of the username here. So I do have root as the username, and then I will put the password here. Just click enter and then just put the name of the password right there. Okay, so once you enter the name of the password, then you will be able to successfully log into your database. So as you can see here, I'm now logged into my SQL community server, and from here now you can run your queries. Okay, so if you want to execute your queries from terminal, then you can do that from here. So again, this is MySQL Server CLI, and I went through this process earlier, and specifically how to load data into your SQL Server once you install the server, right? So you can do that if you want to load data into your database once you have installed the server. So you can go through the command line and run and load the scripts to load data into your database, but you can also use the CLI to run your queries. Okay, so in this case, since I'm already logged in, then you can do something like this: show databases to list the databases that you have. And as you can see, we have classic models here. So in the last video, I went through the process of loading sample data into your database or into your server, and in this case we loaded classic models. So this is the database that we'll be using in this video to demonstrate how to use these SQL client tools. So again, we can see that these are the databases that we have. So if you want to use the CLI to run your queries, then you can for example just switch into this database. So you for you to do that, you can do something like this: use classic models. Okay, so this switches you into this database now, and then from here you can list the tables that you have here. So for you to do that, you can do something like show tables. So if you run show tables, you can see the tables that are listed inside classic models, and then from here now you can go ahead and just run the queries here. So you can say, let's say, select stuff from maybe products, and then so you can see we have let's probably say products, and then limit this to 5 records, I think. Okay, so you can see we have a number of this is how the records look like, and this is not the most intuitive one. So it will not give you kind of like a tabular format. So but you get the idea. So if you want to just get an overview of how your data looks like, then you can use something like this. So maybe let's do count, just get the records here. So maybe if you want to see how many rows you have for your table, you can do like that. So you can see this one has 110 rows for these products. You can check the rest of the others. I think we show tables again. You can do the same thing, select maybe star from, let's say, orders, right? And let's limit this to 3. So you can see, yeah, so you can see this one has, like, it doesn't have long list of rows, but you can see now you have like order number, order date, required date, you know, all of this. So if you just want to have a very high level idea of how the data looks like in your database, then you can use CLI, or you can just run your commands through the terminal, and you should be able to query your database. Again, you have to log into the database in order to do this. So this is one of the tools that you can use to query your database, and this is again my SQL database. So I'm on Mac. If you're on Windows, then you can run these commands from the command prompt or PowerShell. Okay, so we are able now to query our database, and let's go into the second tool now. So I'm going to exit out of this, and the other tool that we will that you can use to log into your database is MySQL Workbench. Okay, so MySQL Workbench, if you just go right here, MySQL Workbench actually is one of the oldest, I believe, and one of the most popular ones that you will probably come across if you're working with MySQL database or server. So in order to use MySQL Workbench, all you have to do is just come here, and you can search for MySQL Workbench, and just go into this link here, and you know, from here you can go, I believe, into downloads. Okay, so once you go to downloads here, you can scroll down to MySQL community downloads, and from here you can check MySQL Workbench right here. Okay, so this is again free, you don't have to pay for this, and for my case I'm using Mac, but you can select Windows. We do have you can download for Windows, Red Hat, Ubuntu, Fedora. So you can just select the operating system that you have, and then go ahead and download it. Okay, so I already have it downloaded, and then once you download it, just go ahead and launch the Workbench. So I'm just going to type here MySQL Workbench, and there we go. So this is a UI for MySQL Workbench, and we'll go ahead and connect to this. So this is the graphical user interface for MySQL Workbench, and again I'm going to delete this connection here, and okay, so in order to connect now into your database, once you already download the server, all you have to do is just, you can go here where it says my connections, just click here, and you can enter the name here. So for my case, I'm just going to do this MySQL connection, and then so usually if you're running this on localhost or locally, this one prefills for you. So the host name, you can see here, this is the server name, which is the IP address for localhost. By default, the port is 3306, and yeah, so the username is root, which is the default user that you get when you install MySQL Server. So all of this is fine with me, and then the only thing we need to do here is to enter the password. So just go right here and then enter the password, and this is the password for that you usually set this password when you install MySQL Server. So I'm just going to click OK here, and then go ahead and test the connection. Okay, so you can see here incompatible server. So I do have the server version that I installed is 9. The Workbench version I installed, I believe, is lower than version 9, so there's incompatibility here, but it's fine. So I'm just going to click continue anyway. You should be able to connect. So you can see here now you get the message successfully made the connection. So that means that we are now connected into our database. So just go ahead and just click OK, and just click OK right here. And then if you now double click this, you can just ignore this message here. So now we are successfully connected in. You can see the server status here. So you can actually use this tool to administer and monitor your database. So you can see, you know, right here our server is running. you can see if there are any client connections. You can export the data. You can export data here and import. You can shut down your server. You can see the logs, all of this. Now to check the schema, you only need to just switch into this tab here for schemas, and successfully you can see now the databases that are available for you. So again, I loaded this in the last video. I loaded these classic models into the server. So anytime you log in into the database using whichever client tool you use, you will be able to see the data. The databases are available for you in the server. So as you can see, we have classic models, and this is the same thing that we saw in the CLI. And you know, from here you can just go ahead and browse your data. So you can see we have the tables here in this database. If you have more databases, you'll be able to see the list of that here. But again, I only have this one available for me. So you can now start querying and inspecting the data here. So for the case of this table here, customers, you can see the information. If you click into this table, you'll see the column names and the available or the related data types, right, for the column names. If you want to view the data, you can just click this tabular thing next to it, and it's going to bring the data preview for this. Okay, and then you can just do the same thing for this one. So this is how you just preview the data for your tables. Okay, so if you just want to inspect how the data looks like, then you can see. And you can also see every time you click into this, right, you can see that it is also giving you the query here for that is running to get the data for that. Okay, and if you want to now run the queries, you can you can just modify this and go ahead and get the information. So let's get for orders, for example. You can see that we have this information. So if you want to modify this now, you can for example say where, if you want to filter this, maybe let's get a status equal to maybe cancelled. Yeah, cancelled. If we want to get only orders that have been cancelled, then you can run that and just execute it. Okay, so these are the orders that have been cancelled, and you can also get the status for all of the orders. So if you want to know which, what are the various statuses for your orders, so you can do something like this and run it. So these are the status for your various orders: shipped, resolved, cancelled, on hold, disputed, on process, or in process. So this is just how you can run your queries. I'm not going to go through how you can use MySQL Workbench to query your data, but this is just one tool that you can use. So if you're interested, let me know and I can dig deeper into how to use the tool. But yeah, so this is how the UI looks like. You just or if you just need to open a new tab up here, I think you can right click it, or you can go, I think it's right here, one of these ones up here. I believe it is I think it's this one here, SQL. If you click that, it gives you a new tab here, and this is now where you can run your query. So you can say use classic models, like so, and then just execute this, and now from there you can just now select stuff from, let's say, offices, for example, highlight it and just run it. Okay. Yeah, so this is my SQL Workbench, and I've been using it for a long time. It works pretty well. So if you are playing with MySQL and you're looking for a free client tool to use, this is one of them. Now, if you work in an organization, I believe you might need the license for this, but the free version should just work fine. Okay, so this is my SQL Workbench, and it's one of the tools that you can use to connect to your database and query your database as well. Okay, and then now let's move over to the next tool, and that one is DBeaver. Okay, so if you type DBeaver right here, so DBeaver is a database tool. It's free. Of course, they do have a paid version, but the community free version works create as well. Okay, so to download DBeaver, just go into this website here, and you don't worry about this. I'll put the links for this in the description if you're interested in downloading them. But just go into dbeaver.io, go to downloads, and as you can see, we do have you can download this in your Windows, Mac OS, Linux. So just go to the section if you're using any of these operating systems. So for Mac, just go to the Mac section. For Windows, the same thing. Download it, and once you download it, it will be available on your local machine. Again, I previously made videos on how to download this, so I'm not going to go through that. So I'm just going to show you how the tool looks like. So open the application once you have it installed, and so once you open it, this is how the UI looks like. I do have some other databases connected, but this is how the UI looks like for DBeaver. DBeaver is a great tool you can use it to connect to your various databases. I've made connections to a number of data warehouses, databases. So it's a great tool. It's a powerful tool, and I love DBeaver. So anyway, so once you are here in the tool here to make your connections to MySQL, all you have to do is just go here and click new databases, and as you can see, we have a lot of databases that you can connect to. So you know, if you have any of these databases, you can see PostgreSQL Server, Oracle, DuckDB. You know, we even have BigQuery, Snowflake. The list of the databases that you can connect to are amazing. Okay, SAP HANA, all of this. Anyway, so to connect to MySQL Server, you can just see from the list here, we have MySQL here. So I'm just going to double click this, and now to connect to the server, just enter the name here. So you can see here by default we have here server as the local host, and the port number is at 306. Okay, so that this is just a default connection. So you can use localhost, or you can use 127.0.0.1, which is the local host IP address. So I'm just going to leave this one as localhost, and then the username here is root. Now if you have a different username that you used to log into your server, then you can put it here. So for my case, it's just the root user, because I didn't change it. And then I will put the password here. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and test the connection. Okay, so you can see this one is successful. So that means we are able to connect into our database or into our server. Just go ahead and click OK here, and just go ahead and click OK there, or finish, and there we go. So for this, I'm going to rename this actually to MySQL maybe Conaken. All right. Okay, so I just do this in case you have various databases that you have connected to. So this gives you at least an idea of which database or server you're connected to. And then just go ahead and expand it, and there we go. So you can see we have our classic models, the same thing here. And you browse into this, you will see the tables that we have in our server. So you can see here the same thing we saw in my Workbench. You see the same thing here. So you can go ahead and view the table. This gives you the idea of how the table looks like. Now see, my DBeaver actually has more features, so you can see things like the ER diagram here. Okay, so this gives you the ER diagram on how our tables are related in our database or in our server. Okay, and you can switch into this second tab here. You'll get the data. Okay, so this is how the data looks like for this table here. And then you can go into one of the other ones. You can also do view data, which also gives you the view data. If you go to this one, you can do a number of things. You can see, you can generate SQL, you can import, you can export, you can migrate, all of this. All right, you can view diagram also, which is the same thing as the, you know, we saw before, how these payments are related to other tables. So you can see payments has relationship to customers, and I believe the customer number is the foreign key that connects these two tables here. Okay, and if you want to run your queries here, you can right click the database name, and just open a new SQL script here, and then from there you can run your queries. Right, select star from maybe orders, right, and then just go ahead and execute this. This runs your data, and at the bottom here you get your information. All right, so you can do the same thing we did on the other side. Let's filter where status equal to, and this one auto completes, maybe shipped in this case. Okay, so we are filtering only for shipped, and there you go. So you can see that you get your records right here. You can also do count star for this. So you can count all the records, or if you want to count only for orders that have been shipped, you can do that, and you can get here we have 303, and I think our, so out of this, so we get all of the orders. So all of the orders, we have 326 records, and out of that one, 303 have status of shipped. Okay, so you know, I'm not again going into the depth of this, like how to use this tool to run queries, but you get the idea. So again, you just come here, right click, and then you go into the new script here. This gives you a new tab where you can run your queries. All right, and again, you can do a lot of other things. If you go into the tools here, you can dump database, you can restore database, you can see the session manager, and this gives you some of the queries that are running. So if you have a query that's running for a long time, then you can come to session manager here and execute. Maybe you can cancel queries, you can kill them, you know, all of those things. All right, so this is DBeaver, and DBeaver is a great and wonderful tool. So if you are looking for a SQL client tool to use to query your database, then you can use DBeaver. As you saw earlier, we have a number of databases that you can use. So in this video, I have MySQL, but you can connect to any of these other databases. All right. Okay, so that is DBeaver, and that is one of the tools that you can use to connect to your database, and it's free. The next tool that we will be looking into now is DBVisualizer. So DBVisualizer. Okay, so DBVisualizer is another SQL client tool that you can use to connect to your database. It's also free, and you can download it and go ahead and use it. It's a great tool, and so to download it, just go ahead here and you can read some of the features available here. This is how the website looks like, dbvis.com. So you know, you can go through all of the process. To download it, just go ahead and download here, and you can see here again, I'm in Mac, so you know, you can see we have the options here. If you're running on Intel, you can download for Intel. If you're on Apple chip, you can do the same thing here. All right, and then once you download it, this is how the tool looks like. So follow the installation process. Again, if you're interested, I did separate videos on each of these tools that I'm going through, on how to download and connect to them, and I went into the specific features on each of these tools. But anyway, so in this, I just want to show you how to use the tool. So right here, just open DBVisualizer here, and then this is going to now bring you to this section here. So you can see this is a free version here, and you don't pay for this. So you can see here, if you want to get the Pro DBVisualizer here, you do need the licensing for that. So the Pro version gives you like better features and more features, but the free one just gives you just enough tools to use. So if you're just practicing and you're not doing crazy things, then the free version just works fine. So to connect to your database or to your server, just come here and create connection here. And as you can see, just like DBeaver, DBVisualizer also gives you capability to connect to a lot of other databases and data warehouses. So the connections here are actually quite a lot. So if you have used again DBeaver, you get the same feel if you're using DBVisualizer. So to connect to MySQL Server, just you can look for MySQL here. So I see here MySQLite. So I'm just going to select that. I'm going to double click this. Okay, so double click that, and then right here we just need to enter our connection details. So we need to enter the database user ID here. Okay, so that will be the username, which is root in our case, and then the password right here. Okay, so I'll enter the password, and right here we will just go ahead and ping this server, see what happens. So you can see here, successfully verified that the server is accessible. Awesome. That means that we are able to connect to the server. Go ahead and click OK and just connect. Okay, and you can see here we have the connection here established now. And I think I will close this tab here, and right here now we have the green check mark here. So you can expand this and you will be able to see your databases available in your server. Okay, so under database you can see two things here. You have DB fields or DBA fields here. So if you're a DBA, you can use this section here to create users, assign permissions and things like that. And then the databases one here gives you, the objects in your database. So you can see here we have our schema here for classic models, and inside there we have our table. So you can expand all of this and just get the additional information in each of this table. Okay, so to fill the data for this, you can double click, I guess. Yeah, if you can double click or just open the table here, you'll see gives you all of these options here. So you can see the info of this table. We have the rows. We have here 122 rows. The name of the table here, you can get the columns and various data types. You get here, you see the data. If you click into the data tab here, gives you the data here. Okay, row count and everything. So you can see the rows, primary key here, classic models. The customer number is the primary key. If you have indexes, grants, you can see if there are any grants and all of that. Okay, so you can go through each of this table, each of the table if you're interested. And if you right click the table here, then you will see a number of other features, like how to create a trigger, how to drop the table, how to empty the table, alter the table, and things like that. Okay, and if you want to open the query editor for this, so you can just if you right click into this, or just go up here, right? So just click here and new SQL commander. That is that's what they call it here in DBVisualizer, SQL commander, right? And then you can select the database that you want to query. In this case, we are logged in or selected into classic models. So from here, you can just run your queries here. So maybe select star from orders, right? And then just go ahead and execute it here. So you run it and you will get your data at the bottom right here. Okay, so you will get all of the data here. And yeah, so you can see we have all of the records here. And if you just want to say maybe where status, maybe in this case let's see this one on hold. We have on hold here, right? Okay, and run this. So you can see we have two records of on hold right here. Do we have? Yeah, we have one here. Oh, hold on, I think we just need to put that again right here. There we go. Okay, yeah, so these are the records that are on hold. And yeah, from here, this is how you get the new script here. If you just want to open more, I think more tabs, just go ahead and just click this add button here, and this gives you the new script or the new like editor here that you can run your queries on. Okay, yeah, so I'm not again going to go into the deep features of this tool, but you get the idea. You can do a number of other things here. So yeah, do let me know if you want me to dig deep into DBVisualizer. But yes, this is how you connect into your database, and just at a high level how you can inspect your tables, and just how to bring a new script editor here and run your queries like so. Alright, so that is DBVisualizer is one of the tools that you can use to query and connect to your database. Alright, and then the next one that I have here for you is Table Plus. So Table Plus is also a database management tool that you can use to connect and query your database. Alright, so if you click into this, you can see that we can download for Mac, and you can also, I believe, download for Windows as well. So yeah, right down here you can download for Mac OS, Windows, Linux, iOS. So again, I went through the process previously on how to download this, and now once we have it downloaded, just download it, and then we will now once you have the application ready, this is how it looks like. All right, so this is how Table Plus looks like. You can purchase the licensing for this, but the free version actually doesn't, the free trial here does not end. You can see here you are using the free trial. The free trial kind of is forever, so it is just a free version of it, so you don't have to, the free trial does not end. But again, if you are running on enterprise, then you might need to purchase the pro version of this. So to connect to your server using Table Plus, just go down here, create connection, and as you can see, we also have a number of connectors to various databases here. You can see MySQL, MariaDB, Microsoft SQL Server. We do have Oracle and just a few other ones. You can see the list here is a bit smaller compared to what we saw in DBeaver and DBVisualizer, but again, we are using MySQL here, so I'm just going to select MySQL here and you can put the name. So I'm just going to name this MySQL con, and the host name is 127 here. I think we could just have left without writing here, but just enter the name there. The port number, of course, is at 306, so that is the default one. And for the root, for the user, we'll put our username here, root user here, and then I will just enter the password right here. Okay, and then go ahead and test this. So you can see this is green, that means that we are good, and then just click connect right there, and we are connected into our database now. Okay, and then from there you can see right up here, right, if you click that icon here, the database icon here, you can see the databases that you have in your server. So in our case, we have classic models, so I'll just select that. Once you do that, you will see the tables that are available for you in that schema. So we have for example here, customers. You double click it, gives you the preview of the data. The same thing here, so just keep doing that. And so you can see here the free version gives you only 2 tabs. Okay, so it only limits you to 2 tabs. So if you want to keep browsing any of these other ones, then you just need to close one of the existing tabs right there. Okay, if you want to bring a new query editor for this tool, all you have to do is just click here where it says SQL, and this brings you a new script editor here, and from here you can run your queries. All right, so you can just run your queries here. So let's say from orders again, right, and then once you do that, just highlight it and run current. If you see right here it says run current, so just execute that, and that's going to run your query. And as you can see here, you have the data available for you down here. Okay, so let me see if I can minimize this. Okay, so I'm just going to drag this down, and so there we go. So you can see now that this is where you have your records displayed. And so I think this one also gives you up to 2 tabs as well for the query. And yeah, so that's how you do that. Let's say maybe where status again equals shipped for this. So and then just go ahead and click here run current, and there we go. So you get your data displayed for you right here. Okay, so this is a basic tool. I don't think there's a lot that you can do here, but again, I'm not going to go into the details for how to use this tool. But if you're looking for an editor to query your database, this is also an option for you, Table Plus, and this is how you connect into your server, and just at a high level how to use this tool. Okay, so again, I'm just showing you how to browse the data and how to run the queries from the query editor right here. Okay, so this is Table Plus, and again, I did a specific video going through how to use this tool previously. So if you want to know specifically how to use Table Plus, how to download it, and how to connect to your server, then you can take a look into that video. But at the high level, this is how the tool looks like and how you connect into your database. Okay, so that is Table Plus, and now let's move on to the next one here, and that one will be BeeKeeper Studio. Okay, so BeeKeeper Studio is also a SQL client tool that you can use, and it is also a free, although it does have the enterprise version of it. So BeeKeeper Studio, just come here and click into BeeKeeper Studio here. You do need to download it, and you can download it on your Windows as well, or Mac. Again, I'm using Mac, and I have already downloaded it, so just go ahead and download this. And once you have it downloaded for you, you can come here and just look for BeeKeeper Studio. And okay, so this is the UI for BeeKeeper Studio. To create a new connection into your server, you can go right here, new connection, or you can just select it from the options that you have right on the on this option here, right here. Okay, so if you do a new connection, it's just this is how the yeah, so it just pops up on this page right here. And then from here you can go and select. So we are going to connect to MySQL, but you can do one of these other ones, right? BigQuery, SQL Server. Okay, so you can just go through this list and see if the database you want to connect to is enabled. So I'm going to select MySQL here, or MySQL, and I'm just going to use here there are three options here: username authentication or IAM authentication using credentials file. So I am going to just do the username and password. You can see by default the host name is localhost, and the port number is 3306. You can change this if you are connecting to a actual server or endpoint. And then I'm just going to enter here the username and also the password. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and test this. Okay, so you can see here connection looks good. We'll go ahead and just then connect. All right, and so if you see right here now, this is the UI, and you can see there's an upgrade option here if you want to upgrade into the enterprise version. But we are using the community server, so that's fine for us. So if you now select the database here, so you can see we have our classic models database showing up. You select it, and you will see your tables showing up. Okay, so if you right click one of these table and just fill the data, then your data is going to show up for you. Okay, the same thing, just fill the data. You can also fill the structure, right? So you can see fill the structure. So this gives you the columns. So we do have the columns here, and the data types. If you have indexes in your table, you can see them. Any relationship with other tables, you can see that customer number here is a foreign key, and if there are any triggers, you can also see that information right here. Okay, so you can expand them here also and just see how each of the table looks like. And to open a new query editor, so you can just right click this. There's an add button here, just click this, and this is going to bring you a new query editor here, and from there you can go ahead and run your queries right there. So maybe let's do it this time offices. So select stuff from offices, and then at the bottom here just click run. So there we go. So you can see now you have your records showing up right here. Okay, so from there you can just run your queries, right? Your SQL queries. Maybe let's say where city is Paris. Okay, and then just click run here, and there we go. So you can see now that every time you just run your, you put your query here, then just go ahead and run it, and then your records will show up down here. Okay, so again, I'm not going to go deep into how this tool, what are some of the features, but if you're interested, again, do let me know. But this is how the tool looks like, and you can use it to run your queries. And you can, as you can see, we were able to connect into our SQL Server database, and we could run some queries here, and we do have the data showing up in the UI right here. Okay, so this is BeeKeeper Studio. I also did a video on BeeKeeper as well, on how to download it, and we went through some of the other features available for this tool. Okay, and then the next one I have for you here is called SQLS, and SQLS is also a database management tool that you can use, and I believe this one might be specifically available only for Mac environment, but let's go into this. Yeah, you can download this. I believe this is only a Mac, a MacBook application that you can use to connect and query your MySQL and MariaDB database. So I don't think this one is available for Windows, but if you're on Mac, then just go ahead and you can actually install this from App Store. So if you click here in App Store, it's going to open take you to App Store, and from there you can go ahead and install it. So for my case, I already have it installed, and so to use this tool, once you have it installed, just go to SQLS in your Launchpad, and you bring it up here. This is how the UI looks like, and from here again, this is only connecting to MySQL, so we don't have the rest of the other databases showing up. So you can see here the quick connect options that we have here is only for MySQL Server. Okay, so you just need to enter, we'll enter our host here, which is localhost. We'll enter the username and the password for that. Okay, I'm not going to connect to any specific database. The default port is 3306. That's fine. Then we'll just go ahead and test the connection. You can see the connection succeeded. We just go then and connect to this, and then from here you can choose the schema or database that you want to query. Classic models has been our database, and then from here you can just go ahead and view. So if you click into one of the table here, you can see the field names and some more information associated or related to this table. And to view the data for this, if you want to preview the data, you can see here next to this we have content. So if you click that, you will see the data here. If there are any relations, you will see the information for that here. Triggers. You can also get some more information about this table here. If you click table info, gives you the DDL that you can copy and probably save it, or just run it again to get the to create this table, right? So you can see this one has the customer number, like if there's any primary key relationship to other tables, you'll see the constraints here. Okay, and for the, if you want to create a query editor, you can just click also your query, gives you this, opens a new query editor here, and from here you can also just query your table, right? So customers here, and then just go ahead and just execute this. So if you click run previous, I think also there is also run current, or run all of them here. Yeah, no, we only have run previous query and run all queries. So the default, which is the default here, run all. Okay, so we don't want that, so maybe just run previous here. Okay, so just do that. If we right click this, yeah, we don't have an option to run this from here. So yeah, the only option that's available for us is at the bottom here, run all queries. So to default, yeah, run selection. Okay, run selection. So you can select this and then just run the selection here. This will give you your data here. So maybe let's filter this also, where maybe city is NYC, New York. Okay, so, and then we just run the selection for this. There we go. Okay, so this is a very basic tool, but it's a great one if you just want something easy to use. So again, this is available only for Mac. It's not available for Windows. but yeah, so just go ahead and install it from App Store and make the connection just the way we did here, and you should be able to run and query your database. Okay, and now the last one that I have for you today is using Visual Studio Code. Okay, so Visual Studio Code is a code editor that you can use to run and write your programs, but you can also do a lot of other things in Visual Studio Code. So you can connect to your database, and to connect into my SQL database from Visual Studio Code, we do need to install a plugin. And if you go to extensions right here in Visual Studio Code, you can the extension that we need to install is called SQLTools. Okay, so that's the one that you need. And so right here we have a few options here. You can go with the first one here, SQLTools, or you can go with the second one here as well. So I'm going to go actually with this one for SQLTools, MySQL, MariaDB, DBeaver, but any of these should work fine. So I'm going to install this. And do you trust the publisher? So yeah, I trust this publisher, so just go ahead and trust the publisher. And from here, so if it is installed, so yeah, I think this one is good to go. We have installed the extension. Now once you've done that, you will see additional if you go to the left menu here, you will see this icon here for database showing up. So just select that or click that and add connection here. And as you can see here, we have 3 databases that you can connect to. We want to connect to MySQL, so just select that and just put the information right here. So I'm going to do MySQL con here. Okay, so for connection. And then I will leave the server and port, the connection using server and port. Server address, it will be localhost. The port number will continue to be 3306. They require the database here, so we will just enter here classic models as the database that, or the schema that we want to connect to. And then the username is root user, and then the password SQL Driver credentials. I'm going to select that. Actually, let's go ahead and test the connection. We might have to, let's see what's happening here. Actually, you asked to connect, use empty password. I will leave that and let's see what happens when we click test connection. So allow the extension here, there we go. Okay, so do that, and then now it's asking us to enter the password here, right? So I will enter the password for that, and then just click return or enter, and yeah, there we go. So you can see now that we are successfully connected. So just make sure that your password is fine, like your password is correct one. And then we'll go ahead and save this connection. You can see the settings here that we have. So this is a JSON. You can copy this JSON and just use it later. Okay, and then so we are now connected to our database. If you close that, you can see on this section here for connections, we have MySQL con. If you right click this or just double click this, you can see now that you have our database. You have your database showing up here for classic models here. You can expand this. This gives you the list of the tables that you have in your database, okay, which is the same thing we've been seeing all along, right? And then you can expand this also and see the rest of the data information, like the column names, right? So you can see if there's any primary key, you can see the primary key here for this table. You can do the same thing here. You can see that for employees, employee number is the primary ID, okay? And I believe you can show table records here if you want to preview. All right, so there is the preview of this table here. You can close that. Yeah, so you can just do the same thing with the rest of the other ones. You can describe this table. Don't know. Yeah, you can describe it. Gives you the field names, the data types, if it's null, if it's the primary key, all of those things. And to query this database, if you want to bring the query editor, so all you have to do is just go up here, right here where it says SQL, just click that, and this gives you the new editor option here. And from here you can just put your queries here. So maybe in our case, let's say select staff from employees. Okay, and to run this, you can just see here where run on active connection. So you can select this, or you don't. I don't think you need to select this really, but you can, if you say if you have a number of queries here that you want to run and specific one on each, so you can just select it and just run on active connection. So you do that, and your data will be showing here on the left side here, right? I think you can drag this one also here to the left, and see your information right there. Okay, and let's see if we run that again. Let's see if we can filter. So let's see if we want to get where the job title is VB sales, right? VB sales. So you can do where job title equals VB sales, right? And then just go ahead and run that again. Okay, there we go. So that gives you, looks like we only have one option here, VB sales. Okay, very good. So that is how you can use Visual Studio Code again to query your database. You do need the extension, the SQLTools, and once you install the extension, then you get this icon right here. Just go right there and then add the connection to your database, and you should be able to now have your database added right here, and you can now run your queries from here. So say if you are a programmer or an engineer and you actively use Visual Studio Code and you don't want to navigate away from Visual Studio Code, then you can just add this and query your database from here. Then from there you can just run your queries right inside Visual Studio Code. Okay, so just a quick recap. In this video we went through some of the popular free SQL client tools that you can use to connect and query your database. And the first one we started with was the terminal, and I showed you how you can log in through the terminal and query your database. Again, you do need to have your server installed, which is the same thing that is required across these other SQL client tools. And so you just go ahead and log in using your username and the password right here, and then you can run your commands from the terminal or the command prompt, and that should let you query your database. And then after that we went through some of the other client tools. So we went through DBeaver, how you can connect to your database and query your database also through DBeaver. So just download it and then just go ahead and connect to your database. We went through DBVisualizer, which is the other tool that you can also use. And then we also went through BeeKeeper Studio. So you just need to put the connection details here, and then you will be able to log in into your database, and from there you can query it. I showed you how to use Table Plus, which is also one of the other tools that you can use as well. Okay, so Table Plus, all of these tools are free. Okay, so just log into your database and then you will be able to connect and query your database. And then we also went through MySQL Workbench. All right, so MySQL Workbench was also one of the other tools. I think it's frozen right here, but it's a popular tool that you can use to connect to your database and query your MySQL database. All right, and then the last one here, I mean one of the other ones here that we went through is the SQLS, which is a Mac specific tool that you can download from App Store, and then you can connect to your database and or your server and run your queries right there. And then the last one we went through is this one for Visual Studio Code. And again, Visual Studio Code is a code editor that you can write your programs, but you can also use an extension. So you just need to install the SQL. I think the extension that we installed is SQLTools. So just install the SQLTools, and then from there make the connection to your database, and you will be able to run and query your database. Alright guys, so that's all I had for you in this video. Again, this is not an exhaustive list. If you're on Windows, for example, there are some other specific tools that are designed for Windows or that are created for Windows, but I'm using Mac, so these are some of the free client tools that you can use in your Mac environment. You can also run this in Windows as well, but again, I believe this is not an exhaustive list. There are a lot of other available SQL client tools out there that you can use to connect to your database, and depending on the database or data warehouse that you use, there are specific tools that are designed for each of them. So for example, we didn't cover SQL Server Management Studio, but it's one of the SQL client tools that you can use. You can see here we have Oracle, ID SQL, I think we have Oracle SQL Developer if you are working with Oracle, Azure Data Studio, and this is if you're working with MySQL Server. Sorry, SQL Server database. We went through some of this. DBVisualizer is one of the other ones that we went through. You can see SQLite, Resa SQL, Polybase, pgadmin. So in this list, you can see we didn't cover everything, but you know, we went through some of the popular ones that you probably come across in your day-to-day journey as a developer, SQL developer working with databases. Alright guys, so those are just some of the free popular SQL client tools that you can use to connect and query your database. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please give a thumbs up, and also do subscribe to the channel so that you can stay updated and be notified when I release videos like this in future. Alright guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.